friends, welcome back to SoulTree Meditation. If you are new here, welcome. You can join me regularly for content regarding meditation, energy, manifestation, and the expansion of your consciousness. So today I'm talking about a topic which is near and dear to my heart and which I have a lot of personal experience with. And that is referred to in the manifestation community as everything is you pushed out. Well, actually, it's usually referred to everyone as you pushed out, but I would argue that it is actually everything. Everything is you pushed out. So this concept relates to the fact that everything in your reality, everything in your hologram that you're experiencing on a day-to-day basis is actually originating from you as its source. I'm sure that many people have heard the concept that the 3D reality just takes your cue because it's actually just frequency. We are moving in and out of different spaces of frequency every nanosecond. So your reality is actually just a currently running timeline, and we are merging in and out of these timelines on a constant basis depending upon the frequency that we are holding. So the concept everything is you pushed out basically states that everything that you see in your reality is either communicating with you, a reflection of you, or something that you are holding inside of yourself, or a contract and an agreement that was made before we came into this 3D Earth experience. So the reason that I talk about the last one, the contract and agreement that we would have made, is because of my work in hypnotherapy. It has been proven over and over again through clients and through past research done in hypnotherapy that, you know, when we access this spiritual part of ourselves, when we access a higher part of ourselves under hypnosis, it is a common theme that comes through that we have made contracts, we have made agreements and agreed upon circumstances in a sense in this 3D reality. Now, I know that kind of conflicts when compared with what is talked about in the manifestation community, would say, no, you can manifest anything you want. You can have absolutely anything you want. And I do believe that that is true. However, some of us have made contracts or vows or agreements that may hinder or may not resonate with what our ego human self is trying to manifest. So why is everything pushed out important? Why should we be talking about this? Why should we be paying any attention to this? Because you can see from your external reality the assumptions, the beliefs, and the programming that you are holding within yourself by the external reality that you are experiencing. So if you are a person who has childhood wounds, anybody who carries childhood wounds and has done childhood wound work will tell you that they will keep attracting the same experience, usually the experience they experienced during childhood. Okay, so most of them will keep attracting the same experience into their life because they still hold an energetic imprint of that trauma or the belief systems that were created from that trauma. So they're still holding it within themselves in some aspect. So it has to be reflected back to them in some sort of way. Your hologram is always trying to work with you to expand your energy. And you expand your energy by taking a look at the things that you are carrying around within yourself. So understanding the concept, everything is you pushed out, is going to allow you to gain more awareness in your reality and know the things that you possibly have to work on or further investigate in order to manifest what it is that you do desire, okay? Sometimes your reality will show up to you as more of a guidance as well. During manifestation, we co-create. We co-create with our higher self, with the universe, with a other power that is, invested and interested in you as an individual. And this is an experience that you will understand if you have really experienced the concept, everything is you pushed out. Your hologram is a literal reflection of whatever is programmed within you, whatever experiences you're wanting to have within you, whatever the assumptions that you're carrying, the beliefs that you're carrying do create your reality. And if you have made contracts to have certain experiences, that reflection is also there to teach you some sort of lesson. So usually when I have clients that go through things that are very difficult, if they have to face some sort of trauma, some sort of horrific event, it is not helpful to say, well, everything is you pushed out and you manifested this, okay? Sometimes it is a much higher agreement that could have carried on from past lives. It could be a karma. This stuff goes very, very in depth. The reason that this concept is so special to me is because this is actually how my spiritual awakening took a very interesting turn that I didn't expect. I had an experience of becoming very psychically activated, and this started very early on, just with me seeing repeating numbers and understanding how to communicate with my spiritual guidance. I began to develop a form of what I would consider a very intense clear cognizance. So I know that I know, and just having that feeling of, my hologram directly communicating with me, and having that, accelerate to the point where it felt very anxiety ridden and overwhelming, okay? And this is why I speak upon these things as well, because, I'm not special in this sense. During this spiritual awakening, we are all being psychically activated. Our DNA is upgrading, and all of these gifts are going to be returned to us in these ways. So we all experience spirit differently, but if you are a person who is very clear cognizant, I would say, the concept of everything is you pushed out is really taken up a notch, where you will find that every single second of the day, you may be living in what I would call a constant state of synchronicity. And the only reason I talk about this in this way is because I have actually experienced it myself. So the reason to understanding all of this is not to, become anxious about the reflections or about the things that are coming back in our reality, but to understand that we can actually take control of them. So I tried this in real life, and the results were amazing. When I was first getting into all of this, I decided to try it on somebody that I knew. I had a job with a lady who was really not nice to me. I didn't know why she wasn't nice to me. I didn't know why she didn't like me. And she would constantly, talk about my appearance, just anything about my appearance. She would talk about it with other people, and it was a constant thing that I was experiencing negatively every single day. So I decided to imagine in my mind her doing the opposite of that. I started to imagine in my mind her saying nice things about my appearance, her saying nice things to other people, and I consistently did this. Anytime I kind of saw the reflection of the opposite, I was like, okay, I see that somehow that is implanted into my reality. Okay, asking myself, what does that say about me? What am I thinking about myself? What am, I thinking about her? Self-investigation is very important when you are becoming psychically activated, because everything is really coming from within you in some sort of aspect. So understanding it that way, but then also saying, okay, how would I like her to show up instead? How would I like her to appear in my reality instead? And being able to really do that in my mind. So I began to tell a new story of her, regardless of what she was showing me. And I found that it wasn't, that long of a time time before I really saw her start to change into the person I imagined in my mind. So it's, experiences like that that really taught me that yes, this is real. Yes, this reality is a holographic reflection that will reflect you, but you have to get picky about what it is you're thinking about, the stories that you're telling, and have a very high awareness of what this hologram is reflecting back to you and what that is meaning, what that is meaning about you. Okay, so understanding how to read your hologram is also very important. There is a video on that on my YouTube channel, so feel free to check that out to go deeper into that topic. But now that I have personally had this experience of a very exaggerated version of everything is you pushed out, I desire to talk about this in this way. I desire to share this experience. So if this is not something that resonates with you, if this sounds totally crazy to you, that's perfectly fine. You have to follow your internal resonance. And there wasn't a lot of guidance when I first began this work or had this experience, and I kind of went through it blindly, just trusting it and watching it evolve. And I do really think that a lot of us at this time are becoming very psychically activated. We're going to start to see through the threads of this matrix experience, and this is a common experience that I'm hearing from a lot of other people already. So, please feel free to comment. Please feel free if this video resonates with you, because a lot of people through this experience are becoming very psychically activated, and this is something that we should talk about because it's normal. It's happening to a lot of people, and it's happened to me for a very, very long time. So understanding how to deal with it, understanding how to properly take those reflections and those guidance and those lessons that you are seeing as these little signs in your reality, and how to use them to your benefit, how to read them properly, understanding that it is extremely important what you're believing, the stories that you're telling, even though this can be very, very hard. A lot of us are very programmed, and it takes work to come up out of those reflections. It takes work to come up out of that kind of 3D experience of living in the illusion of your beliefs and your programming and really believing this to be true. When you come up out of that, you start to see that everything is kind of more matrix-like, and you're going to be able to control it the more sensitive that this becomes for you. But understanding that everything is reflecting something back to you, and doing that investigation to kind of, really uncover what that could be, and then taking that a step further and changing the scenarios and stories you tell in your mind to create, another reality, one that you desire to be living. I also want to say, coming to the realization of how deep this actually goes has really changed my life. When I started studying manifestation, it's really fun to kind of talk about these things and read about these things, but you will know if this is happening in your reality, you will know. Understanding the concept that everyone is you pushed out, or everything is you pushed out, is really going to help you to wrap your head around the fact that everything is you, and everything that you see is there to help you to expand and lead you kind of down your path in some sort of way. When you develop the trust and the belief in spirit, which I feel wavers, I feel that can waver for people. It's maybe, not a concept that stays forever. Once you have faith, you can kind of lose your faith and kind of forget who you are and how powerful you are in this reality. But when you do come to that full understanding, you're going to realize your power. You're going to see what this actually is, what this reality actually is, what you actually are, and how powerful you really are. It's a matter of trusting the hologram and what it has to show you, remembering this concept. This concept also kind of obliterates any sort of labeling or any sort of victim mentality. And not to say that anyone's experience shouldn't be validated, but if you stay in a victim mentality, you will find that you're going to draw more situations to you because, again, everything is you pushed out. So you're going to match up with situations that are basically confirming whatever it is that you're repeating, whatever it is that you're believing, because everything that you are seeing is a reflection of all of those things put together. So it's just going to confirm, it's just going to agree with whatever it is that you continue to say or you continue to give attention to. And this is also very important. If you give attention to the negative side of something, say that you're arguing against something, right? You're still giving attention to that topic. Even though you don't necessarily want it in your reality, it's still going to be reflected back to you. It's still going to stay there because you're putting your attention on it. And the more attention gets put on it, the bigger and bigger and bigger it gets. So understanding this reflection and how it's kind of showing you, it's only going to agree with what it is that you are consenting to, basically what it is that you're talking about, what it is that you're thinking about, and where it is that you are putting your energy. And this can be very hard to remember. This can be very difficult to remember. Just everything is me. Everything is kind of trying to show me something. From my personal experience, when you can come to the awareness of this in your reality, it's going to help you manifest, and it's going to help lead you down the path that you should be on, because everything is trying to show you something, or it's trying to heal you something, or it's trying to give you a reflection or a guidance in some sort of way. And it's only going to deepen you and expand you to further awaken and understand what this experience really is. So I really hope that that resonated with some of you out there. I know that this is my take on this concept, but I wanted to talk about it in this way because this is the experience that I have lived. This is the personal experience that I have lived. I have done a lot of study in manifestation and mental health and psychology over the years, but the experience is what I had first before I began to learn about all the rest of the, theory and the metaphysics and everything that goes along with it. It was the experience of me psychically waking up to the fact that we do live in a literal hologram and that this is real. It's a program. It led me into that study. It led me to further understand what was really going on in my reality. If you're interested in diving deeper into your own personal experience, you can book a one-on-one coaching with me. All of the information for that is in the description box down below. Thank you so much for joining me on the channel again, and I will see you on the next video. Much love.